Let's set up our Microsoft Windows Active Directory. Okay, so basically if you go to this local server, okay, you will find something about it. Okay, if you click on local server, you'll find that the computer name is Mimant AD, work group is similar, so Windows firewall is currently on. So let me just open it and go to firewall and just make them off. Okay, so I have made it off. Then the time zone. Okay, so just select this and change the time zone to UTC 5 plus 5:30, that is India time. Okay, we need to make it sure that the machines and our Microsoft they have for Kerberos basically to for the Kerberos to work properly, the tickets that got generated out of Kerberos should be properly time stamped. Okay, and Kerberos is very time sensitive. Okay, if you find if it finds some little difference between the machines, it will actually not work. Okay, so I have made the changes. Then rest everything is okay. Now you need to go to tools and okay, go to manage and say add roles and features. Okay, so click on it. Then what we actually want to perform is to make this machine to be the active domain controller. Okay, so domain control means you will create your own domain, and our domain is cluster.com, so that is going to be our domain, and this particular machine, this Microsoft Active Directory, will be the controller of that domain. It means that whatever machines, whatever users, whatever services that comes under that domain will be all controlled by this machine. Okay, all the authentication, all the identity management, all the user creation, all the implementation of Kerberos and everything will be managed by this Microsoft Active Domain Controller. Okay, so to begin with, basically we are adding the role to it. So let me do a next. So it is role based or feature based installation, so let it like that. Configure a single server by adding roles, role services and features. Select the server from the server pool. So currently we do have only one machine within this particular domain, that is Mimant AD. So this is the same machine itself. So let me do next. And from here we need to select that so Active Directory domain services. So this is the that second option I had selected, so that I can install the Active Directory domain services. Okay, so 8 features that are required for the Active Directory domain services. So I will say include management tools equally, so I will say 8 features, and then I will do next. Okay, so we are actually making Active Directory domain services. It stores information about objects on the network and makes this information available to the users and network administrator. So these are like kind of all the entities that you will register on this Active Directory domain services, and they all will be accessed by all the users and other services that those are on the same network. Okay, or under this domain controller. So let me do next. Okay, so this default whatever is the selection is okay. I am just doing next. Okay, then again next, and I will just select that whenever it is required, since we are making some changes on the configuration level, if it requires for the machine to be restarted, I am selecting yes. Again, then do install. So it will install this Microsoft Active Directory services, and then we will promote this machine to be our Active Domain Controller. Okay, so feature installation is done. I am saying close. Okay, and as soon as something has changed in this machine, there would be a notification over here.
Yeah, Mehman, just a quick question.
Mhm.
Can you just quickly tell uh, from where it got you got this wizard opened exactly?
Oh, wizard. Okay, go to manage and then add roles and features. So that wizard got open.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, and then
And
one.
just one quick one more thing. Uh, the command to install DCP Romo, is that also from where we can do that?
No, it is in Windows 2008. Yes, so that is also one of the way. But then again, it is latest version, so you need not to go to the command line and run the DC promo. It was required till Windows 2008 Active Directory. Okay, here the way got changed internally. Might be it is running DC promo only in order to install services and make this machine to be a Active Directory domain controller. Are you getting me? This is not that
Yeah,
Windows.
yeah, okay.
Okay, this is Windows 2012. So Active Directory 2012. So it does not use the older approach of using dcpromo.exe in order to make it Active Directory domain controller. Okay,
Okay, cool.
so in the notification section you will find that promote this server to a domain controller. Okay, because we have now used the domain services installed and we require one domain controller for managing all those services. So if you go to this notification, it will automatically give you this option, so we just need to click on it, and then we need to say add a new forest. And the forest means like the tree hierarchy, right? So cluster.com would be on the top, and then under it there would be multiple organizational unit you will have, and in each organizational unit you will have multiple users, groups, printers, services, network, whatever. Okay, and you can keep those organizational units completely apart in the geographies and have them finish all their route to the cluster.com, that is the Active Directory domain controller we are promoting to. So this machine would be capable enough to manage the all the organizational unit you are joining over a virtual private network VPC. Okay, and that's how actually all the company's infrastructure is built. So and that's how when you say print from India, it will be printed in USA in some printer. Okay, that's how actually it is being managed. So I will say root domain name is cluster.com. Then we are going to give the password, so let me put it as a gravity 1, gravity 1 at the rate. Domain name service server. Okay, so just do next. So it will automatically pick cluster as a net bias domain name out of that domain name we had provided as a cluster.com. So it has picked this. Do next. So these are some database folder logs. So this is automatically by default, even in earlier Windows Active Directory versions. These all will be same. So let's go next from here. Do next. So all previous checks passed successfully. Click install to begin installation. So now our machine is going to be promoted as a Active Directory domain controller. I'm saying install. Okay, so our machine is going to be rebooted, so I'm just saying close. You're about to sign off. Okay, so I have made it a Active Directory domain controller. Now we need to relog in. This time we will use administrator password, because we need to set up one thing called LDAP secured. Okay, so let me just go to options, certificate. Okay, so we have promoted this machine to, now if you go to local server, you will find that it is computer name active domain is cluster.com. So this particular machine is now becoming the domain controller. Okay, so we can do further more things, like go to tools, and you can then manage the users and computers through this option. Okay, click on it, and this is your cluster.com domain. If you click on it, basically these are all the existing one. Okay, so you can create a separate organizational unit over here and try to do more things. Okay, so we will do that. We will create two organizational units. One is for Cloudera, one is for Hortonworks, and then we will add certain groups and users in that. We will set their password. Okay, and then we will integrate our Hortonworks and Cloudera to their respective organizational unit and Kerberized whole cluster. Okay, so before that, what we need to do is basically, when we talk about the integration of Hortonworks mostly with the Active Directory, Hortonworks mostly worked on secured LDAP access. Okay, so you can just say LDAP and colon // and then host name. So this is how actually LDAP URL works. Just like www.http URL, we do have LDAP URL also. And secured LDAP means LDAPS, LDAP S secured. So Hortonworks require a secured LDAP connection in order to get the complete Hortonworks Hadoop to be Kerberized. Okay, so Kerberization we will see later on, but before that we need to create a certificate in our Active Directory, and that certificate will be used by the Hortonworks or Cloudera whenever they are requiring it, in order to make the secure communication with this Active Directory. Okay, so there are two ways. One is plain LDAP that runs on port 389, and the second one is secured LDAP that runs on port 636. These are default ports on which these services are running. When you say LDAP 389, you don't require any certificate or any kind of keys basically. Okay, just like we use passwordless SSH. Okay, we are actually key based, no? Even the putty requires a key in order to log into the Linux machine. So it is actually a secured way of communication. Okay, so that secured way also needs to be implemented while Hortonworks or Cloudera will try to connect to Active Directory. Okay, so Active Directory will issue them a certificate that they will use to connect through the secured LDAP to Active Directory. Okay, so for that we require a certificate generation. Okay, so what we can do is we can go and again say add roles and features. Okay, do next, and I will check the first option called Active Directory Certificate Services. So it will allow us to generate a certificate. Certificate means what? It's like kind of a key only, okay, that we can distribute to the Hortonworks or Cloudera cluster, so that they can, just like we had a public key in our putty for our Linux machine, so that we can communicate to Linux machines, right? Here it will distribute a key again to the Cloudera and Hortonworks cluster, so that they can communicate with Active Directory using secured way of communication. So I'm clicking on it, say add features, do next, everything will be okay, do next. Okay, things to note, the name and the, okay, so this is again next, nothing to, certification authority only, so let the first option to be checked. Certificate is used to issue the issue and manage certificates. Multiple certificate authority can be linked to form a public key infrastructure, but let the first one checked. Again, I am saying the restart the destination server automatically if required. I will say yes, and then install it. So while it is doing that, I will go to command line and type one thing called LDP. Open it. It will tell you, okay, if you go to on connection and say connect, and what is our server name is Mimant AD, right? This is the server name. Currently port number 389. Okay, if I try to connect to it, it is properly connected. Okay, so this is telling you that the plain LDAP connection is working properly. Okay, on which port it connects to? 389. So if you do connect again on this machine, there is a port number 389 where the LDAP, plain LDAP service is listening, and it will allow the LDAP communication can happen. Okay, now I want to make it more secure, so it should run on 366, oh sorry, 3636 is the port number, and I should check SSL, okay, secured socket layer. Now if I try to say OK, it says cannot open connection. Why? Because this is not yet set up. Okay, so let me make it this one. What it says now, Active Directory certificates is done, right? Feature installation configuration succeeded for Mimant Active Directory. So I'm just closing it. Okay, go to the notification. It says configure Active Directory certificate services, so I will just click on it. So credential would be cluster administrator, let it be, because this administrator we need to use the administrator profile in order to generate this certificate. Okay, so I will do next, then click on certification authority. Do next, let it be enterprise CA, it is going to be used enterprise wise. Then let it be root CA, create a new private key, yes, let it be SHA1, that is the encryption, right? So algorithm, so we do have RSA, DSA, SHA, OpenSSL and modules. Let it be SHA1, and its number of bits of encryption is 2048, so it is good. So let me do next. Common name CA, distinguished name, and preview of distinguished name. So distinguished name, this is like open LDAP, or sorry, LDAP terminologies. Distinguished name, common name kind of thing. Okay, so we will see that when we actually trying to characterize our clusters. Do next. Let it make to 99 years. Okay, so it is going to expire in next 99 years. So whatever certificate that we are generating, it is having one expiration date. Okay, that expiration date is from today's plus 99 years. So it will be always it will be like kind of infinite for us. Okay, let the logs specify the database location, let it go there and configure it. So configuration succeeded, close it. Okay, now try to do the same thing. Since we have generated the certificate, our SSL should be listening somewhere, but I hope that this should not be connected, so we need a restart of the system. Let me try to just open one more time. Okay, so cannot open connection because we need to restart the system and then only it should work. Okay, so let me restart it. Plant. So I'm trying to log in. Let me just check if it started. Yes. Okay, now try to run that LDAP again, LDP, and try to check if SSL is working. Yes, so our SSL is running now. Okay, that too on the secured mode. So our LDAP connection, right? So our LDAP connection is working on both secured way and non-secured way. So non-secured port of LDAP is 389, secured port of LDAP is 636, and now our Hortonworks or Cloudera connections can securely make an LDAP connection to this Active Directory. Okay, but then the certificate is still with Active Directory. We need to distribute its private part or private key of that certification either to Cloudera or Cloudera or Hortonworks whenever it is required. So we may need to save that certificate over here. Okay, now let's see how we can save it. So go to tools and go to certificate authority. Okay, then this is month Active Directory CA. So this is the certificate that we had created. Okay, just click on it, right click, go to properties. Okay, then go to view certificate, and then we can see the details and copy this to file. So this is basically the complete description of our certificate. Okay, it is having a lot of things around it: version, serial number, signature algorithm, signature hash, issuer, valid from, valid to subject, and everything. So I'm just saying copy to file. So welcome to certificate export. So we are actually exporting the certificate to our local hard drive. Okay, do next. Then we need to select .509.cert. So this encoding is getting used by Hortonworks and both Cloudera. Okay, base 64 encoded X. So this is what actually we need to select. Do next, and then name of it. So I will say active directory. Okay, so let me just browse onto desktop and write it over here only. Active directory .pem or sir. Save. Do next. Finish. The export was successful. Okay, now wherever is required we can provide this particular certificate. Now if you open it and try to see the content of it, it's just like the private key kind of thing. Okay, so let me select the notepad to open it, and this is nothing but a private key, right? Just like SSH keygen, we will generate a public and private key. This is the private key only. Okay, and if you give it to anyone, so it would be like kind of, you know, a very secured one if you give to Hortonworks or Cloudera, and all the LDAP secured communication can happen with this setup. Okay, so this is how we will set up the Active Directory. Now this Active Directory is quite ready for integrating the services to it, the users to it, or the users from Active Directory to sync into Cloudera or anything, right? Now let's quickly create some of the users. So I will go to Tools, Active Directory, Users and Computers. Okay, in here let me first make a organizational unit, new organizational unit, and I will say HDP users. Okay, we are using for this organization to be the you can say the top tree or top, you know, point through which all your Hortonworks will be managed. So HTTP users, I'm saying okay. Under this HTTP users, we can now create some users and group. So let me create a user. So this user is going to be HDP super admin. Okay, it is going to be the boss of this organizational unit. He can do anything. Okay, so HDP super admin, and user login name is again HDP super admin @cluster.com. HDP super admin. Do next. We need to set it is password. User must change password. No, password never expires. We can just say like that and copy this gravity one over there. So this is going to the password of super admin. Okay, create one more user. So I will say HDP user 1. Okay, this is going to be the normal user. Again, its password is not going to be expired. This password is also the same. Do next, finish. Create one more user, HDP user 2. Okay, now these are two simple normal developer roles. Now create two more admins. I'm going to create user. I will say HDP admin 1. Create one more user called HTTP admin 2. Finish. Right, now create one group called HTTP developers. You can say HTTP devs, HTTP developers or HTTP devs. Okay, and security global. Just so this security group created. Then create one more group called HDP admins. Okay, and we can make the part this admin 2 and super admin will be the part of HDP admin, and HDP user 1 and HDP user 2 will be the part of your HDP devs. Okay, so you can just select, go to its properties, say member of, and add to HDP check name. So HDP admin, so say okay, apply. Okay, so this becomes the part of HDP admin. This also should become the part of HDP admin. Go to properties, go to member of, add HDP check name, HDP admins. Okay, apply. Okay, yeah, sure, Gish. Then you have HDP super admin. Go to properties and make him the member of, again, HDP admin group. Okay, now if you go to HDP admins and try to see the properties and see who are all the members of it, you will find that under this group we do have HDP admin 1, HDP admin 2 and HDP super admin. Similarly, we want these two users to be the part of our HDP dev group. Be on mute. Apply. Okay. Member of HDP dev. Okay, now if you see HTTP devs, go to properties and members. So these are the members, right? We are good. Now we make this HTTP super admin to be the boss of this HTTP user organization. Okay, so go here, try delegate control to next, and so you need to say HTTP super admin. So HDP super admin is going to be the boss of this organizational unit. Okay, so he will have all the control, all the authentication, all over here. Okay, so I will say okay, add. Sorry. And I am giving all the control of this organization unit to this guy, HTTP super user. So what he can do is he can create, delete and manage user accounts. So suppose if you want to use this particular organization unit remotely, and remotely suppose you want to create users, you want to create groups, you want to modify certain permissions on this organization unit remotely, either from Cloudera or Hortonworks, this HTTP super admin user will be used with his password that we already set. And since that particular HTTP super admin is having all the control, all he can do with these are all the things that he can do with this organization unit. So he can even create, delete and manage groups, modify the membership of a group, manage group policy, read all the user information, reset user password and force password to change on like stock on, right? So he will be like the god of this organization unit, right? So I'm saying next and finish. So this is how we have created one organizational unit. Okay, this we are going to use for HTTP user, I mean Hortonworks, and similarly we will create one more for Cloudera, right? So let me, any questions?